All right. So here's what we're going to do. Today's training call is going, like I said, it's going to be a little different. Now, I gotta keep myself a little calm and kind of so I don't get too fired up and too excited. Otherwise, I'll just start babbling on and on and on, and you won't understand anything. I would recommend you get a piece of paper handy so that when I go through this, you'll get it. Okay. Now, all right, here we go. On Wednesday's TAC call, a lot of you guys probably did hear it. Most of you were, a bunch of you did not only heard it, we're on there live. I kind of talked about how I have, you guys know that I always consider myself a student of the game, not afraid to, identify issues, things like that, admit to where maybe something is not working. And I'm a huge proponent of systems. And I've always promoted systems, okay, because systems can really, proper systems, the way you implement stuff, can really help you build a business. Now, here's what I want to dispel some myths. First off, network marketing is not a system. Network marketing is an idea. Network marketing is a theory. I can draw, and you can draw circles all on the board all day long and show how somebody who got two make you $1 billion after 5 years, right? Okay, if everybody double two, well, why isn't that happening? Just out of curiosity, if everybody looks at that, why isn't that happening? The other thing I want to dispel this morning, and this one's going to really rattle some cages, is motivation. You see, you can't motivate anybody, okay? There's a kind of a myth of motivation. Most people, I was under the ether of this too, most people really believe that if they just motivate their people, they're going to make them more productive. What I want to challenge you with during this training and what I'm going to show you and how, kind of share with you what we're going to implement is that if you, instead of trying to motivate somebody to be more productive, what if we had a system in place that enables somebody to be more productive? I believe that the motivation would follow. I kind of have noticed that the people that are getting checks quicker seem to be a lot more fired up than the people that have maybe just listened to the TAC calls all day. Even though I think the TAC calls are important, and I'm not saying don't get on those, because I'm going to teach you the correct verbiage, language, attitude, things like that on those calls. Those are personal development calls, which are different than what I'm kind of covering here. But the other thing is 20 years ago, when I was first introduced to network marketing, I was introduced to the possibilities, not of network marketing, but of a theory or a concept of leverage. Leverage meaning the fact that you had the ability to not just get paid on your own efforts. J. Paul Getty, one of the wealthiest people to ever, walk the planet, back in, one of the guys that was in the Great Depression as well, during this period, he said that he'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100 get paid on 100% of his own. And if you truly want to make money in business, in life, wealth is not created through hard work. Look around, okay? I'll give you the perfect, just look around. I ask this in a bunch of trainings all the time. Ask people that you're looking for, or in a meeting, if you ever do one, or watch the reaction, how many people know people that work hard? Everybody's hands go up. How many of those same people that work day in and day out are completely flat, stinking broke? The same amount of hands will typically go up. Well, if working hard isn't the case, it's not about working hard, it's about being productive. The one way to be amazingly productive is through the, art of leverage, okay? So I'm not telling you guys anything you probably haven't got a concept of. And we all talk about network marketing, okay? Network marketing I've loved since I got into it. I loved it originally and most importantly for the community and the culture, how people were interacting with each other, the excitement that we had as friends, the relationships I began to build. That was the thing that really got me to enjoy it, okay? But for years, network marketing has been all tailored around personalities, right? Typically the person with the chicken, the person on the chicken list that has the best personality has typically been the best performer, all right? I would suggest to you that instead of trying to, to always have to look for the most extraordinary people, why don't we figure out how to make ordinary people more productive? Now, if you think about this, this is what's leading me into what I'm going to share with you. And I got a lot of this thinking through, I mean, like I said, I'm a student of the game. I'm always studying. I'm always reading books. I'm always, finding, uncovering the earth, looking for the diamond. And what had happened is literally 2 weeks ago, I was on my way down to the event down there that we were going to do in southern Ohio. You heard all those guys last week from down in the southern parts there, Portsmouth area in Kentucky, are just killing it. And on the way down there, I was listening to an audio CD called the E-Myth Seminar. It was actually the live seminar that Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth best-selling book, wrote. And during the seminar, it was he had done it live in Australia, and he was talking about Ray Kroc's business model. Now, we've all heard about the franchise, right? We all understand what McDonald's is. McDonald's, again, is just a franchise. What makes McDonald's successful is the system that he developed. You are purchasing, as a McDonald's franchisee, the system rights, basically the ability to take his model and replicate it out, okay? And by doing so, you know that you're going to get predetermined results. You know that people are going to be able to come in. Well, what happens is you cater to what people are looking for. McDonald's isn't a restaurant. McDonald's is a gas station. People run in real quick, grab a couple bites to eat, and they run out. A restaurant somewhere you sit down, you get some nice food, some tailored food. They have a chef there on hand. Understand too that McDonald's franchises are run by not the most extraordinary people. These are young people most of the time. These are just average workers and stuff that are doing that. So we all get that, okay? So that's you're hopefully you're following me along with this. Now, knowing and thinking about it like that, and I also don't want you to think all the time like the franchisee owner. I want you to begin to think like Ray Kroc. If you want to become wealthy, you can't think like a business owner. And I'll tell you why a business owner, all a typical business owner is a glorified employee. Most people I know that have, brick and mortar businesses are nothing more than glorified employees in the fact that they went from being the employee running the facility to having an entrepreneurial, that's why the whole E-Myth is all about, or what it's about, is they have this, he called it the entrepreneurial seizure, and they think, hey, I can fix cars great. I work for this fat company, but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my own business. And what happens, they go from just fixing cars to fixing cars, being the tax accountant, being the boss, being this, and they have no time and they have no life. The one thing people want in life a lot of times, too, is they want full control of their destiny. If you can give somebody full control of their destiny, you will change everything in their life, right? If you can show them systems in place and so on. So all that being said, let me get to this, okay? What I always look at is what's the message that's being conveyed to the masses out there? What is the message that we're getting out to people, okay? Now, if you noticed when I talked on the TAC call, I was talking about we've put systems in place. Like our system, per se, is the 3 steps. Step 1 is basically you pique someone's interest on the possibilities of getting paid on commercial or residential energy or any type of utility services, right? And we have a heavy emphasis on commercial because, it's got some sexy appeal to it. It's big. It's got sizzle. It's got steak with it, right? That gets people's attention. Then step 2 was specifically designed. That video was tailored around the psychology of people to cater towards their, find the social proof is what that's called. It's called a social proof aspect, where somebody sees other people having success. There's testimonies. Why do you think testimonies are so powerful in any, in weight loss companies and things like that? It's people want to know that they're not just the Lone Ranger. But then on step 3, I told you guys that I had noticed that it didn't seem like step 3 was really closing the deal. And I started thinking about this. I'm looking at what we have to offer. I'm like, well, who in their right mind, if they've got the ambition to at least blow the fuzz off a peanut, wouldn't want to get paid on commercial or residential energy? And what I'd realized is what the message was is this. See, most people do not like network marketing. Most people don't want to build teams. Most people don't even like people, okay? But to make a lot of money in our industry, we have to deal with people. We have to get people and fired up about it. So what we've been focusing on, and what I've taught everybody to focus on, so it's not your fault if you're not having the greatest results, point the finger at me, I have no problem taking the blame, is I created a message of recruit people, okay? Which makes sense because that's what I've been taught for 20 years. But I started thinking and listening to this CD set, and I started thinking that, and when I got it, when I talked to this one guy down there, Tim Wolf, who had recruited, he had basically enrolled what I appeared to see as a recruitment of about 9 or 10 people in like his first week and a half. And I'm like, have you ever done it? He's like, no. I said, how are you doing it? He says, well, I tell people that I'm selling an energy franchise. And I just kind of sat there and smiled and grinned because I was listening to the CD set on the way down, and I listened to this, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I said, well, what are you saying? He says, I showed people this website, the online utility store. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I'm thinking to myself, I'm just smiling because I got to sound like I know what I'm doing, right? I'm national director. So I have to just go, oh, yeah, that's what we were doing the whole time. But anyhow, what it got me thinking was the language. You see, actually, if you can tweak the language to just a little bit and you understand a different way of presenting what we have, everything changes. And I know this for a fact. Because I've been in the industry so long, I've got tons of friends that make millions of dollars in network marketing. And I look and I hear about all the big companies out there. And there was a company that came out not too long ago that was around for nearly 7 years that sold nutritional products. Same products. They've been selling them for 7 years. They then changed their message slightly, and they rocketed through the industry. Everybody knew who they were with the change. I don't think they understand what they did. A lot of people don't even know what happened because what they did is they actually developed a system, or what appeared to be, but they were still focusing, and when people began to focus on the wrong things, it died off. But so anyhow, let me stay on track here. So here's what I want to suggest to you. Okay? What Michael Gerber was talking about the Ray Kroc, he says the system is the leverage. The system is the leverage where you can turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. And he said great businesses do not look for extraordinary people. Great businesses look for ordinary people and leverage them with extraordinary systems. So let's look at our presentation, step 3, okay? Step 3, why was I going through and selling everybody on energy and rates and the company and all of this? That's actually meaningless. And I'll tell you why. It's because people already buy into, everybody already knows that they use gas and electric. You don't have to really convince them on the industry. Everybody knows, hey, nobody in their right mind wouldn't think, hey, if I got paid on a hospital's energy, I would make a lot of money. The missing link I believe that we had, and I'm saying had because I know I figured it out, or we figured it out, is in the way you present it. And the way I tweak the presentation in the new PowerPoint, and it's done and it's up, and I'm going to show you how to get it in a second, is that I want you to start looking at the OUS not as the store, but as the online utility system. See, the reason I didn't send this out yet is I need you to understand the methodology and the mindset behind the new language here, because I'm telling you, this is going to blow your business wide open, okay? If people don't like to recruit, then why should we try to recruit them? But people can personally believe that getting paid on a lot of energy accounts would, change their lives. The thing is like I said in all the stuff that I've ever trained on, is people, want to find out, is it worth doing, and can I do it? The important part, the closing comment. How do you close people? Can I do it? Well, if somebody doesn't believe they have, a lot of talent and influence, a lot of times they don't think they're going to do it. So that if that's the case, we have to create something that shows somebody, gives them and empowers them to get extraordinary results. And how we do that is by implementing them or selling them a system. Ta-da! Write that down. I am not going to speak anymore about telling you to go recruit people. I am going to teach you a different language and show you how to sell systems. You know where else I got this idea? I looked at what I watched. I talked all the time with Bill Hoffman. Here's a guy that's made like $20-some million in a couple-year period with a travel company, okay? And most of you guys know it was YTB Travel. Still good company out there, right? And I watched a bunch of their old videos. I looked back in the days when they were just rocking momentum. You know what they were selling? Everybody already bought in on the concept of travel. Everybody already, mentally could go, oh yeah, I want to travel. I want to make a lot of money. Okay? So instead of spending all their time on that, what they were selling was a system. They were selling a website portal. They were selling the ability to go out there and get paid on travel. They were selling this system. So thinking like that, I looked at what we had. Most of you guys don't even know what we have, and I haven't done a very good job because I've always skipped over it. I went straight to the money, or I talked about the industry. I had a heavy emphasis on commercial because that's what I was using as my signal. That was what I was hoping that would draw the masses in. Here's what I think is going to bring it all together. And I'm not saying that, this is the end all to be all, and I'm continually learning, but I am telling you I cannot shake this, and I know that I'm onto something here, is that when you watch the new video that I have up, you'll notice that I go through industry, product, company in less than 5 minutes, like 5 minutes exactly, all of it, okay? Because that's not what people really are concerned about. And then I get into the system, because if they've watched PromotersWanted.com and broker testimonies, they're already sold on the ability to get paid on energy. They just want to know what's in place to help me be successful. Why do people search top leaders out to be their recruit, to be their sponsor? Because they believe that just partnering with that top leader is going to give them an advantage, which it shouldn't be the case. The case shouldn't be around personalities. I should be nowhere to be found, but you should be able to go out and recruit people and get them in the business because we've got a proper system in place. The thing is, I don't think I've taken the time or knew it. You can't do something you don't know, to introduce people to the system and help you to teach people to introduce them to our system. So when you watch the new video, you're going to notice as soon as I talk about it, I have heavy emphasis on the system. But I also use some language. I stole this from Danny Piper, and I do say stole that because I told him I was going to steal it from him. So Danny Piper gets 3 times every time I say equity, earn an equity override. Think about this. People don't want to know that they're making money off friends and family. That's a mindset issue. That's a paradigm that doesn't resonate. People don't want to think they're making money off their friends. I don't want to think I'm making money off my friends. But if I knew that I sold my friend a system that I knew he could have success with if he plugged into the system, one, I don't feel guilty for talking to him. I don't feel guilty if the guy gets in and doesn't do anything because I didn't sell him on it. I didn't sell him on me either. I sold him on the system that's going to encourage him to get the results that he's wanted to get paid on the energy accounts. And I can speak to him in a language that he will already understand from experience. Experience says that if you are a business owner, especially if you are a franchise owner, and we can't use the word, we're not selling a franchise, so don't use that word. That's legally not what you can say. But in an example, I say, as an example, think about a McDonald's franchise. Somebody buys a franchise because they want to be able to offer burgers, fries, fish, fillet of fish. I like fillet of fish, by the way. I order the doubles all the time. They want to order that. They want customers to come in. Think about what we offer from a customer standpoint. I went to Google while I was making this PowerPoint just out of curiosity. It says, do people want to save on energy? I typed in Google, save on mortgages, 300 million hits that month. I typed in save on insurance, 400 million. Lose weight, 450 million. I typed in save on energy. Over 1 billion people monthly type in as the search engine, save on energy. How do I save on energy? So if that's the case, if we already know that we don't have to force feed people stuff they don't want, we have to make sure that we leverage ourselves by putting a system in place that helps those ordinary people become extraordinary performers because they're selling and purchasing the system, okay? I'm pretty fired up, as you guys can probably tell, okay? Because here's the thing, is a lot of people are busy. Busyness without productivity is just stupid. Okay, so think about this. When I'm sitting down with somebody now, and I signed up a couple other people, and all my language is totally changed this week every time I talk to somebody. It's so much easier for them to grasp. I say, listen, how'd you like to own your own energy brokerage firm? To where it was, it was generating cash flow off of commercial energy stuff, right? That's the concept. That's what I'm trying to get them to buy into mentally. They can picture that. They can use their own imagination. Your energy brokerage could be getting paid on, commercial things and stuff. So they bought into the idea. The second thing is they say, here's what we do. Understand this, and I don't think most of you guys even realize this. It's free to be a broker. That's another holdup for people. People have never been able to figure out how to explain. Well, why do I have to pay $329? Well, we just say you do because we want bonuses to pay up. Okay, sorry, but that's not going to be the answer that a sharp business person is going to be looking for. What you can now say is this. You say, well, what most of us do is we purchase the online utility system. And here's what it entails. The online utility system comes with a website portal that does all of this, comes with a CAP division. It comes, and you'll see exactly how I word the entire thing. I go through 4 slides breaking down exactly what the value is, the value of the system. People are not out of money. People, it's never a money issue. It's a delivery issue of, is that worth spending money on? When you see how I go through it in the verbiage I use, you will want to buy a system, even though you already have one probably if you listen to the call, is you want to buy a system due to the fact that the system is what's going to help you create the right productivity and activity results that will generate the cash flow, not Joe Smith, who's your sponsor. It shouldn't be about Joe Smith, your sponsor, doing all the work for you. You should be able to plug and play. See, I think a lot of you guys know, obviously, because I'm kind of nerdy when it comes to some of these internet systems. I actually have enrolled and bought all kinds of internet marketing systems, not because I necessarily wanted the systems, but I wanted to watch the process. I wanted to figure out how somebody got me to opt in to a free opt-in. What was it got my attention? How did they again upsell me to $19.95? How did they then upsell me to $200? And how did they upsell me to $1,000? How'd that happen? I love watching that process. It's a puzzle to me. I love puzzles. And I watched this, and I started thinking about our model, our system. We've got the perfect 3 steps. The 3 steps basically show something. Here's the thing, too, is we are competing also. You and I are competing in a very competitive market space. 1, in energy, but 2, all the other networking there's a bunch of other networking companies out there that are saying they can do this, they can do this. But every single one of them is still doing old school stuff. They're all still talking about, recruiting people and let's get this and this and this. If you watch what is about, I believe is going to happen if you guys implement the verbiage properly, the new language here, and talk about the systems, there will not be any competition. Nobody does commercial energy like us. Nobody uses multiple suppliers. Nobody pays the kind of bonuses we pay with the least amount of effort and work. I look at all these comp plans. People always quiz me, so I got to be up to speed on them. There is absolutely no competition. I'm telling you, you are going to start to attract through the system verbiage more people to your business than if you're just trying to say, hey, let's recruit. Now think about this. I want to also think about your storytelling and your ability to edify people. Instead of using this verbiage now and saying, hey, Tim Wolf recruited 15 people. And somebody goes, man, I haven't recruited somebody. I don't even know what that means. Oh, how do I recruit people? People don't like me. What if I said, you know what? We can edify Tim because Tim sold 15 systems. Tim sold 15 systems, and those brokerages are now spinning off cash for him. Wow. That's a lot better of a story, isn't it? Think about this. What if you had the ability? I want you to think like Ray Kroc. What if you had the ability to override 500 system sales, and more importantly, those new brokerages that just opened up nationwide? It doesn't matter what state they're in. Understand, this is going to help also every single state that people haven't been able to do business in, quote unquote, because it's all been energy focused. If you become system focused, you're going to watch this, because here's what happens. The faster you can sell systems and get a group of selling systems, the more leverage you have, which it brings on more customers. I am right now making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off of not only system sales, but more importantly, the leverage of all of these commercial accounts that are being submitted is obnoxious. You know when the last time I submitted a customer was? 6 months. I haven't enrolled a single customer in 6 months. Not that I don't like getting paid on them, and it's going to, and I felt somebody's panties doing a bunch there. Well, if you don't get customers, wrong. I am getting customers. I'm getting thousands of customers. And you should be too if you start thinking outside the box. Quit thinking like an employee and start thinking like a business owner. Start learning the power of leverage and learn the language. If we get people to learn the language, okay, think about that. Now you understand what you're selling. More importantly, when you're presenting this to somebody, you're going to be able to show them the system. The pressure now goes on the system to help them accomplish the results. And that's the key, because if you want, I want to invite people to join me. But I've also understood there were people I just wouldn't introduce this to because they just didn't have that good of personalities. I just didn't believe that they could really inspire people to go out and build a business and do networking and so on, and they probably weren't going to read any leadership books and so on. This new way of talking, using equity, brokerages, and more importantly, what we're actually selling and marketing is systems. It's free to be a broker. Like I said, it's free to be a broker. You can go out. Heck, what's funny is you could buy your own system, set up your own little quote-unquote brokerage, and recruit a bunch of people that never want to buy the system, and you can still make a ton of money off the overrides of all of those brokers. So you actually are like an insurance company, or you are like a mortgage industry thing. I am just suggesting to somebody, if I brought them on board, that I could just literally say, hey, would you like to make it hard on yourself or make it easy on yourself? How does it become easy? Okay? Because something hard means it doesn't work. Something easy is because it's a productive system that helps them get a predetermined result that they're looking for, which is the submission of commercial accounts. It's the submission of cell phones, internet, pagers, whatever it might be. The system itself, if you learn to talk the language like that, it's going to help us, I think, completely change the way people look at CCM. We've been under the radar for a while, for a few years. We're now just, I believe, starting to start a good momentum. I believe that with this new step 3, and if you just watch the new video multiple times and learn a different way of talking about this, putting emphasis on the system, I'm obviously repeating myself multiple times here, you're going to see that your results are now going to go through the roof because the pressure is no longer on you. Like I always said, pressure shouldn't be on you. It should be on the system. It's been sitting under our noses the whole time, but most people don't want to buy a store. It looks like you're buying a website. That seems pretty expensive for a website, right? But the thing is now if we put it and package it in a much different fashion, now I want it because I already want a different change of lifestyle. I don't want to work my 9 to 5 anymore. I want to be able to pay for my kids' college. I want to have a retirement account. I definitely see that energy is the way to go. I've already read the books that are out there. I've already heard the stories of what happened in telecom. How am I going to get that success without having to be a networker? I don't have time to go do meetings, and on and on and on the examples and the excuses go. But excuses don't pay the bills, right? But if you can present to them the idea of buying a system, now you will get the people to understand that there's a system in place to help them get the results. So we're no longer recruiting. We don't even have to talk about networking. I've been the networker for 20 years, and I still get the heebie-jeebies when somebody asks me what I do. Because it's, everybody, there's a track record of failure in the industry. And the reason is it's always been personality-driven versus actual systems-driven. It's only a handful of companies that I've watched that literally really promoted the system, and they exploded. I was involved in a company one time. It's no longer around. I just was telling my wife Stacy about this. I'm like, I just realized why people jumped into that program so quickly was because there was more of an appearance of a system versus just pure recruiting, because people don't want to recruit. They don't want to see their friends fail. I don't want to see my friends and family fail. But now I don't have a problem talking to them because I'm not presenting them to be networkers. I don't care if they ever read one MLM book the rest of their life, but I want to show them how buying a system with us, partnering with this company, can help them generate a residual income on an industry that will only deregulate one time. It's going to be a short 3 to 5 year window, and there will be people that make more money than they could possibly spend in their lifetimes. And I believe that we've got that now. And I'm trying to wind so you can tell them, I think I'm finally spent with all the energy there. But here's what I'm going to tell you I did, okay? PowerPoint's done. It's already posted on my rep training under you'll see it that looks like the same picture, but it says CCM System Overview. I will not ever probably say again I'm doing a business presentation. You'll probably never hear me say that at a meeting. From here on out, when I'm talking to people or inviting people to come to something, it's going to be a CCM, it's going to be a system overview, okay? They're going to see the system. Think about the trainings, how the trainings can change. You can train people on how the system works. How do I submit a customer? How does this website work? How's this, okay? Showing them how the system works is going to get them to become and help them become productive. If you help people become productive, because it's easy. I mean, I look at these guys, like all the guys that are closing commercial accounts, is they're fired up about it. They understand the system. They understand, get a bill, submit it, put it through the back office, and off we go. But the reason I wanted to put so much emphasis on the new language here is if I can get you to understand that you can go out and sell systems. I mean, I think about this too. If I want to make an extra $500 this week as a national director, I only have to sell 2 systems. I don't have to recruit people. I sell 2 systems. There's $500. 2 of them. It's easy to show somebody the power of what I do. How would you like to get paid every time somebody clicked on their lights, especially if it was a business? That sounds cool. How's that work? Well, there's a system you can buy that helps you get those things taken care of. Wow, I'd love to see that. Okay. Gee, that's tough, right? So here's what I'm going to tell you. The PowerPoint's done, posted on the website. Step 3 is already live. Recordbreakinggrowth.com, which is now step 3, is the new video. I filmed the whole thing, new PowerPoint, new back, screen and everything. But here's what I tell you. Just watch that over and over and over again. You can skip through the first 5 minutes if you want. It's pretty much the same story. But listen to how I talk in the beginning. Make sure you listen to how we're talking about earning equity. I put emphasis on the system, not on the company, not on the personalities of who's running it, not on the energy, not on that, because they're already sold on that concept. We don't have to rehash it. We've got to sell them on the system. And if you sell them on the system, it's going to work out. Think about this for just 1 second, then I'll unmute the lines, say goodbye, or take some comments. If your language could change to the point that you now knew you were overriding 100, 200, 500 brokerages, and the reason those brokerages are having some success is their systems. Okay? I mean, think about it. Leverage is where it's at. Coke is not successful because it's a great product, right? They're successful because they have distribution points everywhere. There's a Coke machine everywhere, right? Outlets. That's all you're doing. You have the ability to override little bits on lots of stuff. You will make more money than you can possibly spend. And I believe that's what we have with this company. This company is poised for greatness. I'm telling you, you guys are in a position right now, if you bust your butts, and I want to leave you with this. I don't want all of you to be on these calls all the time in 2 years struggling to do the business. You should have already quit in a good way because you had success. Okay? You have to have an end point in mind, right? I'm looking at 2 more years. I am going to work my butt off for 2 more years, and I really believe with the organization, the brokerages that will be out there, the overrides alone off of all of the thousands that I'll be doing, because that's my focus, it will produce millions and millions and millions of dollars that my kids are going to be able to reap the rewards for years to come, because I went out there and I was found a way to be productive, which obviously increased my motivation. I get excited on Fridays when I see the checks coming in. But it's now, I believe, it's going to exponentially grow faster than we've ever seen, and I hope you, through this call, can kind of see it now. You can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can now establish a real goal, and just think about it. Put it down on paper. What would your check be if you made an override of $10, $50, $100, let's say $100 per brokerage? Per brokerage in your organization, what if each brokerage added $100 to your bottom line, maybe monthly or even annually? How many brokerages do you want? How many systems do you want to have sold? That's all you got to ask yourself. And I'm telling you, you're going to be able to live a life. You know, like I said, there's a significant difference between making a living and having a life. So I am going to unmute the lines because I am out of breath, and hopefully that all made sense. Hopefully I didn't just blow it out of the water because I really didn't change anything. If you think about it, I just changed the way we're going to talk about it and give you guys the ability to become more empowered and come from a position of strength in your speech versus always having to backpedal because, it looks like networking. It doesn't look like networking anymore, does it? So anyhow, let me unmute the line.
Are muted. Are unmuted.
All right, guys, I am unmuted.
Hey, I have a question about some of these people. I find many of them just want to get utility customers, not necessarily recruit. But still they'll come around. But how do you mold that into it?
I can't hear you because there's way too much background noise. So you can call me after the call and answer that. So,
okay.
Hey, you know what I'll do? How about this? I'll take a few more minutes. Let me mute the lines, and if you have a question, press *6 unmuted. So hold on 1 second.
Are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
All right, if you got a question or comments, I'd love comments now because I just basically put it all out there. So hopefully you guys got it and are excited about it. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, Mike, that was historic.
This is Robert in Atlanta. Can you
hold on, Robert. Yeah, hold on 1 second, Robert.
Okay.
Who was that, Ken?
Yes, that was Ken. Thanks, Mike. I'd say historic, man. Thank you.
No problem. I appreciate your feedback. Thanks. All right, who else?
Hey, the Robert in Atlanta. Listen, some of these people seem to want to get involved to acquire utility customers, knowing that could bring them an income as well. Those that don't tend to like the MLM concept or feel that it is, don't like to recruit, tend to go that way. I'm thinking in terms of how to meld that into the opportunity as it's being presented now. Do you have any suggestions on that quandary there?
Yeah, absolutely. Just have them watch the new video I have up, Step 3.
Yeah.
That's all they're going to have to do because I go into the aspect that it's free to be a broker. They would have already understood on the first 2 videos that getting paid on commercial energy is great. I do reference multiple times that people have and can make very good residual incomes off their own personal submissions. The thing is you can't force anybody to be an entrepreneur. You can only suggest it, and if they don't want to, then that's totally cool. But the video number 3, you'll see how it's laid out and how I speak the language in it. It kind of gives them a suggestion that, hey, let's think like Ray Kroc.
Yeah, I was on the Wednesday TAT call, and when I heard that, boy, my brain just lit up. I've been in business for a long time. Now that makes sense. You're commended, highly commended, my friend.
Perfect. Well, thank you. I appreciate the feedback. No problem. I'll see you at the convention.
Bye now.
No problem. Thanks. Anybody else? Press *6 to unmute your line. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike. I thought last week was his best call. Not anymore. I set up the appointment from the information from the guy last week, and I had one guy on the line with you. Well, I've got 2 more appointments, and this is really going to help.
Perfect. You can now you come from a position of strength. You don't have to backpedal on what you're doing, and it makes so much more sense because people can relate to it.
No, and this is great for any sales guy that's out there because they're used to selling like me. I've been floundering, but I think this is the whole package.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was thinking of you while I was doing it, actually.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem. Anybody else got any questions, comments?
This is Kathy O, Mike.
Hi, Kathy O.
Hello. I am excited. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep, and this is the missing link. Thank you so much.
No problem. I haven't been able to sleep either. So I'm driving Stacy nuts, but now I don't have to drive her nuts anymore. Now I don't have to drive much. Perfect. Hey, if you got another comment, just say real quick.
Mike, are you still using Promoters Wanted and the other first two steps the same way, or have you adjusted those videos with the new?
Nope. They stay exactly the same. It's the same message because I don't. Most people don't want to start out as entrepreneurs. They get the employee. Let me do my work. Motivation. So step one, let's pique someone's interest to get paid on commercial energy or whatever or utilities. Step two is just testimonies to kind of confirm that. Step three is kind of a reaffirmation of what they just saw, but more importantly, kind of getting them into maybe slightly, thinking differently. Obviously, if you run into somebody that's already done networking or they already get it, the light bulbs are going to come on in spades with this one. So, yeah, everything still stays exactly the same. So that's what's nice about this. It's not like I did a whole overhaul.
Hey, Mike. Quick question: is the Promoters Wanted site still going to roll through all three steps?
You mean like if you stay on it, will it repeat?
Yeah. Right now, it rolls through. It starts with the introduction, moves to the broker testimonies, and then it runs to the presentation.
Got it. If you sit on there, I can set. Do you want it to stay like that?
I'm cool with that.
Okay, I have to go in and make one. I'm glad you said that. I have to make one adjustment in the sequence. It can, yes. The reason, what was your name? I didn't hear who it was. Jimmy. Okay, just let me tell everybody still listening here. What Jimmy asked was if somebody actually watches full through on Promoters Wanted, what will happen is I have it set up that it'll automatically play broker testimonies next, and then if that one finishes completely, it automatically plays the CCM overview. That will stay the same. So if somebody does go there and say, hey, if you want to watch all three videos, they'll play simultaneously. But the reason I have 3 steps set up in 3 separate videos is sometimes people they want to just cut to the chase. I always try to make it available. If somebody says, well, I don't care about testimony, I just want to see how the comp plan works. Okay. Go to recordbreakinggrowth.com. There it is. So, yes, I will have it set up so it does play automatically, but still encourages the 3 steps. That way people understand those websites exist.
Okay.
Yep, no problem.
Hey,
thanks, Jimmy. Yeah.
Mike, this is Jody in Defiance, Ohio. Hey, I just got on the call not too long ago and missed most of it. Is this being replayed?
Yeah, it should be. It should have been recorded. As soon as I hang up, it'll process. And then when I get home, I'll be home in about 20 minutes. I should be able to just send an email out, and it will be the full call will be on there, as well as the ability to download it. I'll have that link on there as well, along with the new website links and so on. So it should be recorded. We'll get it out there to you.
Okay, great. Because I'm gonna get caught up on things. I've been kind of away from things the last few weeks and
all right.
caught up. So
no problem. Yep. Anybody else? All right, going once, going twice. Perfect. All right, guys. Hey, I'd love to hear some feedback. If you want, send me a text, send me an email. Let me know what your thoughts are on everything. But I really, obviously, I think we're onto something here. So look forward to seeing everybody and meeting you guys on Saturday at Super Saturday. And then we're going to have a lot of fun at the National Convention coming up. And I expect a lot of you guys have probably double, triple the teams now because of what we just put out. So everybody have a great one. I'm going to jump off here, and then I will get an email out within the next half an hour with the recording of this call, along with the new PowerPoint and so on. So everybody have a good one. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.